Sawadika, Jan.
สวัสดีครับอาจารย์
สวัสดีค่ะ
Sawadika.
Sawadika, Panajan.
Sawadika, Panajan.
Can you hear? No, we can't
Yes, we can hear.
Does anyone have anything they would like to start with? Hang or Anne, would you like to start with a topic as you're in the room? Or Betty?
Hello, Ajahn, and everybody. I like to start with confidence. Saddha. So we understand that it arises at every wholesome chitta. And we learn that it's a basement for all the kusala and we lead to the enlightenment. But without panya, it cannot be developed. Can you elaborate more about this? Saddha.
In order to understand the absolute truth, there should be very careful considering about each reality as it is, really is, no matter what degree. So what is the first degree arises with every wholesome citta, the sattva. What is it?
It arises every moment of dana or sila.
Kusala.
Kusala.
Wholesome.
Wholesome.
We talk about whatever is there now, unknown, because there are so many degrees. When it arises, it has to be one kind, one degree of a reality. So basically, what is it that we use the term sattva for a reality, which at that moment arises with wholesome citta?
It's a confidence with a kusala wholesome moment. Right?
Or wholesome Dhamma.
Dhamma.
What is sattva? Only one. The moment when citta is pure, not any akusala arises at that very moment, because sattva is so pure at that moment. It purifies the other citasikas arising together.
So the meaning of purify is
in the sense that the akusala dhamma cannot arise at all.
So it's nearby the sati. Sati cannot
Sati
allow
no.
akusala to arise too.
Sati is aware of kusala dhamma. At the moment of thinking about considering the truth, understanding the truth, without sati, there cannot be that moment. So sati arises with sattva, but they are different. Can sati arise with akusala dhamma? See?
Cannot.
Yeah.
That's why when the wholesome cetasikas arise, akusala cetasika cannot arise together. That's why we learn about the truth of this moment, not understanding anything there at all, until learning to understand little by little. But at that moment of kusala, akusala cannot be there at all. That's why understanding the moment of kusala, like dana, whether there is a kusala after or before, but not the same moment.
So
Is aware of
Kusala,
so,
dana, sila.
and satta stops the akusala from arising.
Purify
So
chitta.
purifying.
It's pure just at moment when there's no akusala cetasika arising.
Okay. Thank you.
It's like they give the simile of the purifying gem put into the water. So when the purifier is put in the water, it purifies, it makes clean. This is the characteristic of saddha, to purify whenever it arises. Sati doesn't purify, it's just aware of wholesomeness, aware to be wholesome, but saddha purifies.
So I'm curious that why it cannot become one of the parami.
Or to what?
To purify all the, all the mental factor arising with saddha.
Just to understand the truth of what is there now. Otherwise, what for?
We were talking this morning, how was mentioning idipada, of confidence, power of concentration. So that would require a very high level of understanding, and it would develop gradually.
And saddha also be developed and we become a power too, right?
How many cetasikas are pala? Or
It's 5. There's 5, right?
why only 5? See, we have to understand the practice of enlightenment, not just suddenly realize the truth. Impossible.
I'm curious that why saddha mentioned as a first factor. Of
It's
the
clean.
So it clean all the. So that's it a function to clean all the everything is right.
It's not like human being cleaning something, but
Yes.
at that moment it's a reality which is clear and clean. So at that moment, the other reality which is not clean cannot arise.
Chan, too difficult to understand right about the cleaning. Its function is clean.
So understand that whatever is now or then, anytime, or different realities, to learn little by little about the difference of all kind. Otherwise, how can there be the understanding of just one reality at a time, precisely, clearly? For example, right now, who can understand saddha? See, but it's there. That's why what is there every moment, it's not known. Only hearing the teachings, considering wisely, carefully, beginning to understand the difference between cetasikas and dhammas. What can be pala, or what to be pala, and how can it be? Not just any pala factor is pala. For now is that pala. There is a reality which will be or can be depending on conditions. Like sattva, strong enough, not forget what we have heard. Anytime, sometime it's there by conditions again and again and again until it arises with panya, sharper and sharper, until now it can be known. That which appears only, not that all we are talking about, that different cetasikas or different moment of chittas, just only that which appear to be known by conditions.
And hung, not
Uh-huh.
every sattva can become bala. It has to be the one that has developed as indriya with the development of satipatthana. So it has to be an indriya, a governing power that is so firm, so confident when it purifies, strong enough to become a power of bala. So it's not the sada that develops with moments of generosity or moments of metta, but it has to be the sada that develops with understanding, direct understanding of realities to be an indriya, and then later a bala, and then later an enlightenment factor. So it has to be the one that develops with very firm, strong panya.
Thank you. So it's the sada is the indriya when it's at the moment of satipatthana, is right?
Yes. And then it has to develop firmer and firmer, sharper and sharper, to use Ajahn's word, stronger and stronger to become a bala. So now, when it's just moments of wise reflecting or wise considering, it's not strong enough to be an indriya. So the sada has to develop with panya to that degree. So that's why that's why sada, virya, sati, samadhi, and panya are indriyas. They're governing faculties, governing realities when they are indriyas, when they arise at moments of satipatthana.
Going back a moment to the idea of purifying the citta, I think that's what you've been asking. It too is a development, something akin to a power, but not a power, but it's the idea that the citta becomes more, let's say, more attuned to kusala rather than akusala, something like that. Would you say that would be an accurate description? That when a citta when cittas become more purified, there's more conditions for kusala to arise rather than akusala to arise.
So is citta clean now? See, so we begin to understand sattva in other aspects. If you don't understand by this word, what about the other word? It's so dirty. So sattva arises and it's clean, and so it conditions the other to be clean by its function too. And there be a glimpse of understanding what we are talking about. A reality is there. Not the word, but the truth, the characteristic of such reality, different from others. just to let go of I. One day, little by little.
The citta itself, though, is pure. It's the cetasika that dirty it up or keep it clean.
Body can can change the characteristic of any reality at all. So the chief of experiencing only the object.
I'm sorry, the chief of experiencing only.
The chief of experiencing the characteristic of the object
Okay.
only.
Okay.
It cannot understand. It cannot be clean because itself is just pure citta alone.
Oh,
Okay.
So amazing. It's there now anytime, but it's hidden. To understand it is quite very difficult because usually we just think about the object which appears all the time, not that which experiences it. No shape, no form, no color at all. Imagine. Anytime it's there. Not right understanding, not satta, not loka dosa.
So that's why its meaning is innermost, right?
Can you find it? It's there now. That's why without understanding the subtlety of all Dhammas, there cannot be the study of Dhamma. Just take the word and the number and the story.
Achan, in a Thai Hindi discussion this morning, Achan mentioned about the Votapana Chitta. Is the Votapana Chitta? Yes, it's a Kriya that doesn't care about the object is desirable or undesirable object, right? It's just. Can you elaborate more about this?
Can anyone change the characteristic of the object or anything? Whatever is unpleasant is unpleasant, no matter what experiences it, seeing or sampatichana, santirana, votapana, or chavana. But it performs its function as it arises to make way for the accumulation, kusala or kusala, ready to rush on, to ooze. See, it's time because karma produce vipaka already, or karma, or vipaka conditioned by karma. The end of the vipaka in our viticita process is santirana. So only seeing, sampatichana, and santirana are vipaka. See, it's time for karma to produce the moment of experiencing the object. From seeing to santirana.
And how can the Votapana care about the object? Because there's no lobha, there's no liking, there's no disliking. It's just one Kiriya Chitta. So no wholesome or unwholesome cetasikas with it. Just one ahetuka citta that arises in between the vipaka cittas and the kusala or akusala cittas. So it's just like the gateway, but it doesn't care about what the object is. And the object has already been conditioned, so it's just one moment of experiencing. No liking, no disliking, no caring, no understanding, no pleasant feeling, just one chitta before the kusala or akusala chittas arise, which like or dislike, care if you like.
Thank you very much. It's amazing.
And Hang Tanajan once pointed out, and I found it helpful, is that it has to be a kiriya chitta between at the end of the vipaka. It can't go straight from vipaka. The last vipaka chitta is the santiran chitta, and then there has to be a kiriya chitta. It couldn't be another vipaka chitta. It's just the nature of things. As you said, it's amazing. It's just the way it is. And then, as Sarah's alluded to, you get the accumulated tendencies producing the akusala or the akusala.
Thank you, Sundara.
Can anyone get in or get out without the doorman?
No, Asha.
It's just like at the end of the sense door process, there have to be Bhavanga chittas following until they are interrupted again. And then there has to be the same kiriya chitta, the manodwara vajana chitta arising, making way for the kusala or akusala chittas that follow in the mind door process.
I like your analogy, Tanajan, there of the doorman, like ushering in what is to follow, whatever that may be, kusala or akusala, or as we know, more kiriya chittas possibly sometimes. Hang, that word actually just means something like a station, literally a station. It's a place, so the word itself, it's like a station, a stopping point, or not, we can't really say stopping, but it's a station where, as Tanajan said, it's the usher, sometimes we use the word in English, an usherette or the usher, or the doorman or doorwoman or whatever you like to say these days, and opens up for what is to follow, and that will be dependent upon the accumulated tendencies at a particular moment.
Ajahn, I'd like to go back to something you just said a very short while ago. About satta, that it can condition, often condition other mental factors, the jetasikas, to be clean.
So can the other thing make it clean?
No.
So when it's
No.
there must be the wholesome jetasika arising.
Okay. But then the jita alone only experiences the object, and it's clear without the jetasikas.
Chitta itself experience the object as the chief of experiencing.
Okay.
No other or any fact jetasika can experience in such a way. Chitta experience, it
Okay.
performs its one function.
Yeah.
Just experience clearly the object. But jetasika which arises perform the function,
Yes.
like lopa perform the
Yes.
function of lopa, but it does not experience the object as clear as
Yes.
chitta.
Yes. Okay, and it's the presence of satta that
That's why
can keep
now,
it clean as other
that's
akusala
why
jittas.
now
Yeah.
what appears is clear,
Mhm.
because chitta sees,
Okay.
perform only function, experiences the object, the
Mhm.
characteristic of that clearly. Otherwise, such color like they're very strong and very little cannot be known.
Okay.
How fade it is, how vague it is, how strong it is, even the color. The pink and the red.
As I'm just.
What
Really?
experiences it citta only.
The citta
The
experiences it
function of
only.
citta.
And it would, depending on the color, it would be more clear or less clear.
Even it appears you don't mind with how clear it is, you just like it.
Yes.
Because the citta is a chief of experiences, and all citasikas experience the same object in their own function way, their own way. That's why citta does not appear, because it experiences very clear of the object which it experiences. So the object appears all day because citta experience is so clear.
Okay. And then Lopa is it
Same.
attached.
Experience the same object,
Yeah.
but like it instantly,
Yes.
not experience it as citta experiences.
Yes.
So what do you like?
I like blue.
The object which is experienced but not as clear as citta.
Okay.
But citta experiences is so clear that Lopa is attached.
It is attached because it experiences it clearly.
Because citta experiences so clear.
Okay.
So,
So-
you like very red or just pink? And many degree of pink, see.
Yes.
So citta experiences the characteristic only clearly for the other to like or dislike.
Oh, that's interesting. So if I'm going way beyond where we are, but so when citta is experienced directly, seeing,
It sees.
it sees. And the object, it becomes is seen. Yeah.
Clearly.
And it, okay, the object is
At
seen.
moment
clearly.
of seeing.
Right.
And the other experience the same object, but not as clear as citta, because it doesn't perform citta's function.
Mm.
Citta only
Right.
experiences the object so clear right now, and that Lopa is attached to that which is experienced, that's all. But it does not experience clearly like citta.
Right. So if there, when there is direct understanding of object,
Mhm.
that object is a visible object.
Mhm.
Will it appear to understanding more clearly than it otherwise would?
Okay. What object?
Color.
Color?
Visible object.
Visible. At that moment, no understanding of citta.
Right.
But it begins to understand. Remember? Color,
Yes.
no one.
Yes.
Color,
Yes.
nothing. Color, just color.
Just color.
Like now,
Right.
only colors appear all the time. But thinking about different things and people, it does not appear as it is.
Right.
As only color
Color.
appear, the madman comes in.
Right. And there would be no thinking of clearly or not clearly,
Mhm.
just color.
Mhm.
And
That's why the truth.
and when the understanding begins to develop, it doesn't understand the object, the color clearly.
Right.
Even when it begins to understand directly, it's still not clear. It's only when it's vipassana jnana, when it's high degree of understanding, does it understand that object clearly. Whereas the characteristic of citta. Any citta is whatever it experiences. It experiences it clearly in its own way, just as it is, but it doesn't understand anything at all. And it's
Yes.
the citta, and it's the same whatever citta it is. It's always pure. It's always experiences clearly, even when it's akusala citta, even the citta accompanied by lobha, still the citta itself at that moment experiences its object clearly, just as it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, thank you.
And why and how it appears clearly.
The object or the citta? Object.
Anything.
Because of understanding.
Is there understanding now?
Not much.
But with, can we imagine when the object appear clearly?
Oh, I'll start to eat it. Can we imagine?
The moment when the object appear clearly? Because now we're talking about it appears clear.
Well, we
or
think
not
we
clear.
can imagine, but we don't know.
Okay, imagine.
I can't.
We can imagine. So imagine.
We can imagine.
Can or cannot.
I think we cannot. I think we try to think we can.
But when we talk about it appears clear or clearly, what's your mind?
Something clearer
Yes,
than I already know.
So what is the meaning of clear or clearly?
Yes, that's the question, isn't it? Well, without the distraction of defilements, no lopa, no dosa.
But now we're
No
talking
moha.
about the clear object because it appears clearly. So how can it be as clear as that? As such, what we're talking about, so very clear.
Well, there would be no defilements and no ignorance.
The object.
Yeah. Oh, no, the object doesn't have any of those.
Yeah, we're
No.
talking about the object.
We're talking about the object.
When
How
we
can it-
say the object appears clear or clearly or very clear, what does it mean?
It's hard to say.
That's why I say,
Because-
can anyone imagine?
No.
Because when there is the praise or the, what you say, it appears clearly. It's appear very clear. So what is that? Clear. It appears clear or clearly. So clear.
Well, I find it hard to say because there's no memory of appearing clearly.
That's why we have to understand the very subtle of each reality, that it can be understood by word only, but we have to consider there must be more and more careful considering in all aspects. One aspect is not enough. So each word should be understood very clear. What does it mean? It appears clear. What is it? That's so clear.
Jay, flick on my light, would you?
Well, the point is very clear. The point being that we don't know because.
But now we're talking
thinking
about
it.
the object.
Yes.
And what appears now are the objects because it is experienced. So it appear, and when we use the word appear clearly, what does it mean?
Nothing is appearing clearly now.
That's good. Because it's true.
It is. It is. This is a very good way of making the point.
Deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
Can we say that if an object appears clearly, and obviously it has to appear clearly to the citta, or else it can't be cognized properly. Can we say that if an object appears clearly, it means that the citta neither sees it or neither cognizes it with kusala or akusala at that particular moment. It just sees the object as it clearly is.
So we have to begin from whether this moment the object appear clear or not. So you understand the meaning of the clearness or the clearly of
Well, it has to appear clearly to the citta at that second of being cognized
but
first.
what it means it appears clear. Different from
It
now.
doesn't. It's not. It doesn't. It doesn't appear to have kusala or akusala. No.
That's the word. It appears clearly. What does it
As
mean?
it really is.
Now
The object appears as it really is.
but we use the word appears clearly. What does it mean?
It appears as it really is.
All right. How?
What do you mean how?
Because now it does not appear clearly. So how it appears clearly?
Because there are no jetasikas arising at that. No, they have to arise at that point, but
Right.
they're not yet. I'm not sure about this. They're not yet influencing the citta.
So the object appears just like now. But when it's time for the object, when it's there, appear clearly. How clear and what does it mean? That very moment appear clearly. Now it does not appear clearly.
No.
So how it is the moment when it appears clearly?
I'll go back to my old answer. Don't know because it's never appeared
That's it.
clearly.
But still the object cannot be
Yeah.
changed.
No.
It is
No.
as it is.
Yes.
But when it appears clearly as it is,
Mhm.
what does it mean?
Look, Betty's looking at me and saying, "You do this."
Why now it does not appear clearly?
Because there is not knowing the object, understanding the object as it is.
So the
As it
object
really
does
is.
not appear as clear as it is at all. But when time
Yes.
comes for object to appear clearly, how can it be so clear that we use the word, it appears clearly?
The various mental factors are lots of words here. There is understanding sufficient. There are conditions for sufficient understanding and awareness and satta, and
Okay.
I think you
Yes, one
Your turn.
at a time, one at a time.
In other words, the object appears clearly in terms of the characteristics. It appears clearly as being anatta, anicca, and dukkha. Right?
That's John's turn now.
That's right. So very subtle.
Yes.
Who knows that when it appears clearly, no other object appear at all.
Mm.
Otherwise, how can it appear clearly? Only when any object does not appear at all. Only one is there. So clear because nothing is there, only that.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
So there has to be high degree of
Yes.
panya.
And yeah.
Mhm. From moment of beginning to understand it now. So
Yes.
many objects, so many moments of ignorance and attachment and so on. So they cannot appear just only one. The way it is,
Right.
arising and falling away so very rapidly. So
Mhm.
how can it appear as just one at a time? But when time comes, Panya begin to understand the truth that even right now, so many processes of experiences, the object, no matter what is there, must be the object of experiencing, of seeing.
Mhm.
But when Panya understand that there can be only one moment of experiencing at a time, but when it appears, no matter what degree of understanding, it appears as nimitta because of the rapidity
Yes.
of the succession of even citta. That's why no matter what arises and falls away, it appears as nimitta of one characteristic.
Yes.
Like seeing now, when we just talk about seeing, only seeing is there, being attended little by little. But there are so many realities appear together. But right understanding begin to understand it in truth. They cannot appear as this at all. But the rapidity, condition, the nimitta of not only one reality, but so many reality. Just close your eyes, they're gone. As soon as one opens one's eyes, see so many things at once. Suddenly, instantly. This is the rapidity of the arising and falling away of Dhamma. So when it appears well, imagine no word, no
Right.
other word at all.
Yes, yes.
If it is not directly experienced, nothing can let go the idea of self.
Yes.
But even the first stage, it's still there because of years and years accumulation of ignorance of this moment. Always there. So right understanding begins from hearing, considering very carefully to understand the subtlety of all kinds of Dhamma, not to be heedless, not to be careless, not to be underestimated, that the truth is so far. That's why this is Satya Barami, Viriya Barami, Khanti Barami, and Nekkhamma Barami, Adhidana Barami. Never go wrong. But as long as there are still avijja and attachment and wrong view, there still are conditions for moment of wrong understanding. But Panya understand no matter what. So only Panya let go or begin to eliminate all the akusala, wrong practice. Even intention, just a little bit, is there for Panya to know that it's not the path. Intention is not one of the path factor at all, because it cannot be developed by intention. Impossible. Even intention arises with each moment, but it's not the path factor. So now, reality does not appear as it is, but as people and things all day, all the time. So when will it be? Time come to be naturally to understand what is there now. It depends on the development of understanding, little by little, to understand from intellectual understanding the 3 rounds of the 4 noble truths, not just one, the 4 and the 3 rounds. What round is now?
Parinati for sure.
But it can condition Patipati, the 2nd round. And how long will it take?
Long time. We don't know.
With what we are talking about, the citta and the cittasikas.
Right.
And it appears well, or it appears, it experiences as a chief. Only right understand now is Satya Barami, Viriya Barami, Khanti Barami, Adidana Barami, Nekama Barami. Being more friendly to all kinds. They are all realities, no one at all.
Yes, yes.
I'd just like to summarize a point for Leanne and others. So, Leanne, when we're talking about the development of understanding, when it's just the wise considering now, we don't say that the understanding understands the object well or clearly. So it's just because it's just beginning to understand. When it is the direct understanding of a reality, at moments of satipatthana, it understands well at those moments, but it's still not the clear understanding. Only when it is vipassana jnana, from the first vipassana jnana onwards, does the panya understand the object, the reality clearly, one reality at a time, one after the other clearly. And in the other context, when we're talking about the function of citta, so at any moment when citta arises, it experiences its object clearly in the sense that it experiences it just as it is, but it doesn't understand anything about it. So even when it's a moment of seeing or a moment of vakusala citta, it experiences its object clearly, but not in the way that panya understands, penetrates the nature of the reality as it is. So two contexts that we're referring to with regard to clearly. Any questions, Leanne?
Thank you so much for the explanation. Yes, it was clear. No, not now. Thank you.
And back to Hung's original question about saddha, it's usually translated as confidence or even faith. But actually, I never hear Ajahn referring to saddha as confidence. So it doesn't matter what word we use any word, but the point is to understand the characteristic is that of purifying. Purifying the citta and ceitasikas it arises with.
Citta is clear at that moment, no akusala, right? And when it's more and more, and with understanding little by little, what about the clearness? More than when it does not arise with right understanding, see? Okay. And more understanding, it's more clear or clean. So akusala cannot shake or do anything to the very firm understanding and confidence and very clear. Citta is so pure, little by little, cleaner and cleaner. So if we take just the word, not understand each reality and take them all as in a moment, they work together. With our panya, the citta is cleaner. And when it's clean, the other wholesome cetasika can arise more and more. Right understanding and sati, the enlightenment factors. Yeah.
This is why when we're talking about the indriyas or the balas or the enlightenment factors, they have to work together. So I don't think it matters whether saddha is put first or panya is put first. Actually, they have to arise together, condition each other, develop together until they become more powerful and eventually enlightenment factors.
So we can understand that it's a different level of saddha, right? Like in the indriya or in the bala, and then another level.
So
if it's not the direct understanding of realities, if it's just understanding intellectually now. Sada has to be there at those moments. Panya has to be there. Viriyasati, Samadhi have to be there. Each conditioning the other, developing together, but not strong enough, firm enough, not cleaning enough to be indriyas yet, until it's moments of direct understanding.
Thank you, Sarah. It's clearer now.
And the enlightenment factor has to begin from the very beginning, satipatthana. Otherwise, it can be satindriya and satinpala and so on. That's why not just intellectual understanding, but it's firm enough, and it conditions the moment of satipatthana. When there's no understanding, there cannot be satipatthana. It is sati, but not patthana. So there must be the understanding what is aramana or patthana for sati to develop, to be indriya. If it's not indriya, it cannot perform the function of indriya. Just daily, like ordinary kusala. So today, no thought about Dhamma at all. Is it sati indriya?
When you were speaking about nimitta before, we were talking about the reality is known through its nimitta. The character of the reality is known through its nimitta, and there are so many realities arising and falling in succession all the time, and they get blurred together. And therefore we see people and things and the like. How, I may have trouble wording this. Oh, this is a really stupid question. But how long does it? I've started in, I might as well go down the road. I guess things keep changing. I mean, in our, you know, when we look around the room, things keep changing. Nothing lasts. It all looks like it's joined together in one big movie, right? The Madman movie. I can't word this question yet. I'll have to wait for another time.
Nimitta. When there is the understanding so firm, so truthful to the truth, whatever arises appears as nimitta.
Yes.
No matter what degree.
Yes.
Like just one reality, even seeing right now, many moments of seeing. So it appears as just nimitta of seeing, not just only one moment of seeing.
Yes.
No matter what, whatever arises appears as nimitta. Until this is stable, see, many moments from different color to be image, nimitta, and take it for a thing of people, person.
And then seeing the design.
So we live in the world of nimitta for sure.
Yes, yes.
And without the absolute truth, there cannot be nimitta. Without the arising of citta, cetasika rupa, there never be nimitta.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yes. Without the enlightenment of the Buddha, there can never be understanding of it either.
Whatever appears.
Right. Okay.
More and more and more and more until it's the whole world, very big world.
Yes.
But
yes.
nimitta of each one.
Right.
Until nimitta of something. Until nimitta of the whole world.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
So usually nimitta of seeing, and then so quickly nimitta of something. But when there is understanding, nimitta of seeing, and then with understanding, there is understanding of the nimitta of seeing, not something as usual, but it's always nimitta, it's always the world of nimitta, with or without understanding, no matter whether it's the seeing is taken as something or whether there's understanding of seeing, always nimitta.
Yeah.
Even when it's the clear understanding, it's still the clear understanding of the
Nimitta.
nimitta.
Right. Okay. Thank you. You can't hear that often enough, or too often. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Nimitta of Kun Sarah.
Yes. Nimitta of everything.
Touch it, and it's there. And when there's no touching, no more.
It's not there.
Only at moment when it's there.
Right.
It's nimitta as well.
Always.
And if it
Sarah.
doesn't appear,
Minnie.
Oh, Minnie Sarah. Yes.
Mickey John.
say nimitta of Mickey Mouse, John's favorite nimitta.
It's the way to understand madman.
Yes. Yes. It's really, this is thinking, of course, but it's really a reversal of thinking. We always think, and for eons, I think, have thought about people and things. And it really, it's a complete reversal. It's nimitta. It's not first people and things. It's nimitta. You know, when you look at the TV set here, I think I see Sarah and Kun M behind her. And really, the only thing seeing sees is the visible object. And then nimitta grows from that.
And that is another aspect to understand citta, the chief. Without it, no world at all.
Mm-hmm.
All depends on it. Sometimes it's said the citta rule the world because it's there, experiencing whatever now experienced, seen or heard or thought about.
And there has to be the nimitta of countless visible objects seen in order for there to be the idea of the shape, the form of the color of what is seen, and before there can be an idea of Sarah or anything or anyone else.
Right, countless.
Nina or Yotika, would you like to bring anything up today? Nina, do you have anything you'd like to bring up?
Sarah, Ajahn gave you a very good reminder that the understanding has to be ever more deeply. So I think it's very helpful when Ajahn elaborate a little more about understanding more deeply.
That's right. From the beginning to understand it deeper and deeper, it has to be a moment of understanding just one reality a little more, like Chitta right now. We are talking about that which does not appear until right understanding, understand it, and begin to attend to the characteristic which is there now or anytime to understand the truth. What is Chitta? It doesn't have shape, form, or any rupa with it at all. It's that just we use the word pandara itself. It's not wholesome or unwholesome. It's only the reality just arise to experience. But without it, nothing can appear at all. No word, no thought, no like or dislike at all. That's why it's there, but it's unknown from life to life until moment of beginning to think about it. As before, no thought about it at all. But now, as soon as it's there all the time, it can be conditioned to attend to the characteristic, which is not that which appears as visible object or sound at all. So we think about moment when there is no seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking. It's there because the object is not known. The object does not appear as what is there seen or heard, but it's there. The object does not appear together with that which experiences it. The object does not appear together with that which experiences it. So now that which sees, imagine when nothing is the object as sight or sound at all. But at that moment, it's still alive. It's still moment of life, of living, continuum is there. But the object at that moment does not appear. So the reality which experiences is there. All the time, no matter when, it's there. The reality which experiences. So it depends on what is the object of that. For example, when it's there, ignorance, experience it, no understanding the truth, that it is a reality, no one there at all. But when it's there and ignorance is there, I don't know what is that. What is there? I don't know, but it's there. See, so the question is, what is there before Panchatavara Vachana? Because Panchatavara Vachana cannot be known, it does not appear. So we can say, what is there when there's no seeing? There must be life, the reality, life continuum. Chitta is there. Any time in life, it has to be Chitta there. No matter it experiences the visible object or sound. But when it's not the moment of experiences the object through the sixth way, it's still there. And at that moment, it does not appear what is known as today's object, as people and things. No one there at all. But what is there? See, what is there? Ignorance does not understand it. But it's there as a reality which experiences an object. Is that right? The reality which arises and experiences the object, but when it appears as it is, the object does not appear together. Begin to distinguish the reality which experiences and the object which appears all day.
Ajahn, I cannot follow this very well when there is no object experience and Chitta is still there.
Okay. What is there now?
Ignorance.
Before you say ignorance, what is there? Chitta is there. See, it's there.
Because otherwise we would not be alive. There will be no life.
That's it. But no thought about the chitta which is there. That there must be a reality which experiences. We just think about the reality which experiences as life. It's there. So life is moment of experiencing. The object does not appear. And life is moment when the chitta experiences the object and the object appears now as what it's seen. Just think about this moment. What is now? See? No answer. What does it mean? There must be chitta at that moment, but not understanding the nature of chitta yet. No thought about that which is there. So in our mind or our head, I don't know, but it's there for sure. We do not sleep now, so there must be chitta.
Chitta.
But it experiences an object. No need to say whether it's Pawanka or whether it is what. But it's the chitta, the reality which experiences the object. This is the beginning to think about it and then attend to the characteristic of that which now sees. Right understanding apply the understanding to the moment of seeing. It's not the object which is seen, but now that which sees. Without attending to the nature of that, it's impossible to begin to distinguish the difference between the reality which experiences and the object which appears now. Because in a day, just thinking about the object which appears all the time, neglect the chief one, which experience the world of the object through 6 doorways. That's why it is Chitta-nupassana Satipatthana. Without understanding of the nature of Chitta, Chitta cannot be understood. Little by little, develop with Sati to begin to understand the reality which experiences that even at moment of seeing, it experiences different objects because that which is seen appear. So Chitta at that moment experience different object from the moment when the object does not appear. And that moment can be any kind of Chitta. That's why all kind of Chitta is Chitta-nupassana Satipatthana. Understanding the distinction between that which experiences the object and the object which appears now. Otherwise, when we don't talk about it, it's forgotten. In the day, from day to day, in one's life, never get closer to understand the reality which is there from birth to death all the time. And after that, non-stop, from years and years ago, accumulated all sorts of kusala and akusala. But it cannot arise without that, the doorman, through 6 doorways. This is life. This is everyday life. And this is ignorance when there's no understanding of the truth. And right understanding now develops little by little. Is it some time to think about it now? but so rare in a day. Only when we talk about it and then forget it as soon as one does not think or talk about it anymore. Just thinking about what is there outside and so on. Citta or cittas, even thinking or any moment, but it's the chief, very pure in the sense of it's clean because no other reality, it's not the wholesome or unwholesome factors. Citta itself is just experiences the object.
So always has to experience an object, even if the object does not appear at all.
The point about when Ajahn said no object or the object doesn't appear, she was referring to the bhavanga citas, which are interrupted by the sense or mind or processes. So actually there is an object, but because it doesn't appear through any doorway, that's why she was referring to the citas when there's no object or no object appearing. And with regard to the understanding deeper and deeper, so even if there is the wise considering about different realities like now, it's not enough. The understanding has to develop deeper and deeper on and on, even when it's direct understanding of realities. It's not enough. There has to be the clear understanding on and on until it is the understanding of the Arahat and all defilements are eradicated. So whatever understanding there is, it's not enough. It has to develop deeper and deeper, penetrate deeper and deeper the nature of the truth, the nature of life now. So never any room for any complacency, because it's never enough. And the understanding a moment ago is gone. So it has to continue to developing deeper and deeper and deeper to totally eradicate the idea of self and the clinging to whatever is experienced now and ignorance.
Vivya and Kanti and Satya. Yeah. Without parami, it's impossible to understand the truth of what is there now.
But Ajahn, if you say Chitta is there, Chitta is there, Chitta is there, does it mean that Chitta is permanent?
No, it
But it-
arises and falls away and arises and fall away again, one moment at a time. Just one moment at a time.
So it's going on and on and on.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Even it experiences the visible object or not, no matter it experiences the sound or not experience anything through the six doorways, it arises and falls away.
And
So
that way it is here. Okay.
And this is the understanding of the subtlety of all Dhammas. If we think that it's not as subtle, we think that it's easy to experience the truth, but it's wrong. Because now, if there's no understanding of the truth that Citta experiences, what is there now appearing, it's impossible to understand that what Citta is, because the object appears, but the Citta does not appear. They cannot appear together, but Citta can be object of understanding. That's why understanding is a reality which can understand everything. Because it's so true and it's there now. So the truth of the characteristic of a reality now can be known. Seeing sees. And that which arises to experience seeing. And no matter we call it what, the chief of experiencing, but it's that characteristic which arises and experiences the object clearly.
So understanding is different from chitta.
Right? Chitta can experience the object, only that it cannot understand. It just arises to experience only.
So the understanding is wisdom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Eve has got a question. Eve, would you like to ask yours?
Yes. Tanajan, Chitta is of itself Pandara, pure, and experiences the object clearly by way of nimitta. And it is, when it is Chitta, and should Panya arise, then there is understanding, knowing. However, when it is akusala chitta, with moha, ignorance there, it immediately covers it. Does this, is this accurate to say that, Tanajan, please?
How many chittas now, not just seeing. So there can be any kind of chitta by conditions, not only seeing now. That's why we learn to understand just one reality at a time in order to have clear understanding of each reality, as chitta is not cetasika. And each cetasika is different from chitta and cetasikas, the other cetasikas. Like right understanding is a reality different from ignorance, another reality.
Eve, even when the chitta arises with ignorance and the ignorance doesn't understand anything, still the chitta at those moments experiences its object clearly, because that's the function of chitta. So the chitta experiences what is experienced just as it is, even though there is ignorance, no understanding of it at all. No panya, nothing kusala, but still the chitta experiences clearly.
Yes.
And for yotika, I was going to say, so whatever the wording is given, like chitta is there, we have to be confident that it's true that all conditioned realities are impermanent. So whatever is conditioned arises and falls away. Each chitta, each cetasika, each rupa arises and falls away instantly. No matter what we read or what we hear, that is the truth.
I'm aware, Jyotika. Is that clearer to you now? Because you're really asking about chitta and its permanence or not. Is that a little bit clearer to you now, what Tanajan and Sarah has explained to you? Is that a little bit clearer? Has that been more helpful for you?
Yes. It was already clear, but it sounds like contradiction. Like chitta is there, chitta is there, chitta is there. Then I thought I thought it was not permanent, and it is not permanent. But in a way, I thought, oh, is it permanent? No, it's not permanent. Okay.
That's why
It's clear.
the understanding of the truth never changes. For example, whatever arises falls away instantly. Whatever means everything. So when we talk about chitta which sees and chitta which thinks, it does not mean the same chitta see and the same chitta think.
No, there's a
Whatever
thing.
arises falls away. Never change the truth.
Yeah.
Even when it does not experience the visible object or sound, it arises and falls away.
Yeah, but it looks like permanent, and it is impermanent. It is the impermanence going on. It is there. Yeah.
All Sankhara Dhamma are anicca, dukkha, anatta. All Sankhara Dhamma.
Yes, Jyotika, I think what Ajahn is saying, that this is the nature of life in samsara. Consciousness at every moment, but only momentary. Not a moment without consciousness, but yet itself is only momentary.
Yes, okay.
And this is part of the reason why life in samsara is ultimately useless and of no intrinsic merit. Valueless.
Yeah, just to amplify a little bit, the Buddha's last words were Vaya Dhamma Sankara, which is they perish, so this idea they perish immediately they arise and fall. It's just a complete disintegration, if you like, of dhammas at each moment. And sort of getting back, then the Buddha said in his last words, Vaya Dhamma Sankara. Apamadena sampadeta. So he's saying again that word, the madman, don't be mad. Apamada. Pamada is madness, a kind of madness, a craziness. So he said apamada, which is the not develop or strive with. Sometimes the word is translated as vigilance or heedfulness or something like that, but the word literally means non-madness, strive with non-madness. And that can, getting back to what we're talking about, as Tanajan was talking about the madman, because madman is emblematic of ignorance, and that's usually our default position, the one we fall back into all the time. So there's always that tendency because of the accumulation of ignorance, and ignorance doesn't understand how dhammas are always perishing, always disintegrating.
Yeah.
Yes, and each citta arises not just only once in a lifetime and then it's gone, but once in samsara, then it's gone, never to return again. But it's the continuum. It's a continuum of citta until ultimately liberated. Please excuse me.
This is good. Sadhu, sadhu.
So what's the meaning of bhavana?
Bhavana. Is it becoming?
Is the bhavana?
Becoming?
The development of right understanding of the truth. From very little understanding, it can be a moment of realize the truth of this moment.
Yeah.
Arising and falling away. Citta is not any Citta. Now learn to understand. In the day, no one at all, only different realities, conditioned to arise and fall away. The development of right understanding stage by stage to realize the truth. Naturally, by conditions. So it takes quite a long time with patience and virya and satya to understand that If this moment is not clearly understood, there can never be the eradication of akusala. So now, when you see someone, it's still someone, not in a moment of, oh, it's just a moment of experiencing an object. There still be the idea of self. So the point of listening to the teachings from the very beginning, to understand each reality, which is so very deep, very subtle, is to understand it more and more, clearer and clearer, until it appears as it is, stage by stage, as what Buddha taught, because he taught from his enlightenment. After his enlightenment, he just talked about the truth. And this now, the development of understanding is so very subtle. So it is the fourth of the noble truth. Otherwise, how can there be the moment to realize the first truth of the Four Noble Truths, the three rounds? When Satipatthana is not there, it cannot be the second round. So how can there be the third round, the realization of what is there now? As we heard, whatever appears as nimitta. Whatever arises falls away instantly. If there is no understanding of just one reality, clearer, how can there be the moment of experience, the moment when it's gone, and the moment of the arising of the other one? And there are citta in between, not experience any object through the sixth way. That's why each one is separated, the demarcation of one reality to another reality. And that is clear. Not as they are together from moment to moment, as the shape and form of someone or something. So now understand what is meant by a madman. From nothing, just only that appears, takes it for the world and people and things. Beginning to understand the quality or the wisdom of the Buddha, the virtues of his wisdom, his parami, his karuna. Otherwise, how can there be even just a little understanding of what is there now? Because it's a glass, it's table, it's everything. But in truth, it's not. It's just the nimitta of what appears from one kind of a reality to be different objects. Is there touching now? Hardness appear only at the moment of touching. When there's no touching, we think that it's still there, the table and things, but in truth, never to arise again. And the madman keep thinking about what appears as different things. I think that when I say, Mickey John, laugh. See, just that word, condition, madman, just the word, it conditioned different kind of feeling. In truth, no permanent thing at all. It appears only when it's there and then gone. But madman keep on thinking about the story of it, of my life. But after death, where's I?
So Yotika, this is why we always come back to talk about realities like seeing now what is seen, the visible object, hardness that is touched, because without understanding the reality as it is, there cannot be the understanding that dharmas arise and fall away. There will always be the idea of something, someone there. So that's why there has to be, from the beginning, the understanding of different realities in order to let go of the idea of someone, something, and lastingness. Like the visible object now falls away instantly. The seeing just sees for a moment, is gone. The hardness that is touched, gone instantly. Without talking about the realities, it's impossible to understand anything about the truth, and it's impossible for the understanding to develop to directly understand those truths.
Until what we are talking about becomes true.
The end of this life, no more Sarah, no more John, no more Mickey Mouse, but there will still be experiences of hardness and color and taste and so on from life to life.